Hi everyone. In this healing session, I'm going to give you all a movement that is for self-empowerment. It's also really good for the pelvic area. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be energizing our pelvic through a mantra. So our pelvic area is nice, okay, nice and healthy, nice and flexible. We tend to have more agility in our ability to handle life. So flexible hips is agility to handle the changes of life. So we're going to be on our back like this, hands beside us, and we're just going to be rising this area down, up, and we're going to be chanting har, H-A-R, harda, 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 harda. Come up, sit on your bottom. There are chickens over there and they're watching me. The chickens are like, what is she doing? She's very strange and peculiar. Let us watch her. So there you go. Oh, you hear them? They're talking. So if you're feeling a little lackluster, you need kind of like an energy boost. That's really good for self-empowerment. Ooh, the chickens, they have a channeled message they would like to give to you all. How are we doing, chickens? Are we doing good? Are we doing good? They're like, yeah, you guys are doing good. You guys are doing good. Satnam.